All right, remember,
What?
video's going now, so you gotta be nice and quiet, okay? I told you you can't get out. All right, buddy. Go ahead and finish your drink.
Okay.
Oh boy, I knew this was gonna be fun. This is gonna be interesting. Polly,
Yeah.
please stop.
Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is going to be a very interesting video. Uh,
What?
someone says hi to you, and they said that your daddy's awesome and a superhero. So there are people out there who think I'm a superhero, buddy, because I do good work and I help people, right?
Yeah.
That's why I always try to tell you the most important thing you could do is help people more than anything else. All right. Anyway.
I'm also a superhero.
All right. DFS man. The bathrobe is my cape. I always say Mr. Rogers, right? The bathrobe is my cardigan, so it could be my cape too. All right. So let's talk about this slate real quick because today is even worse than yesterday and the last few days. It's been, decreasing good in terms of pain. So definitely want to get this done. So I'm going to start today the same way I started 2 days ago, the same way I started my game one lineups, the same way I started my game two lineups. All right, buddy, that's enough. Yeah, I'm going to start with Vooch and LeBron and Giannis. All of them are still just too underpriced. If Giannis were over 12K, if LeBron were 12K, if Vooch were 10K, I would reconsider the all three of them stack because it's just going to be a little bit hard or much harder to fit everybody in and then have enough points salary wise to go around. I think today, though, we're going to see these three go off again. First of all, Vooch just lines up perfectly. I mean, I explained it in the last video. Milwaukee seeds. Okay, that's enough, please. Paul.
Look at me.
That's enough. It doesn't matter. You can put it in the fridge and finish it later. You can't do that noise in here. That hurts me. You know that.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So you can go, if you want, you can go in the doggy room or the dining room and finish it. Then you can make that noise. Is that okay? Paul? I said don't do it in here, please. Polly, please. I'm in the middle of a video. Please go do something else. Thank you. All right, buddy. Good boy. Sorry, everybody. That's not how I wanted to start the first 3 minutes of the video. 5-year-olds, what are you going to do? That's life. At least he's a decent listener most of the time. I know, but still. So, first and foremost, there we go. He gets rewards if he doesn't bother me during the video, though. Oh man, I don't know about FanDuel. I know about DraftKings, and one of the reasons I like them, or I like LeBron and Giannis so much on DraftKings, is the bonuses. If you are not getting the double and triple bonuses, it's not as like lock a play for those two. So if you want to, pick one and then go middle of the road on FanDuel to help you fit more people in, don't sacrifice your lineups for that. I mean, I think those guys are still going to be like the best plays of the day when it comes down to it for the same reasons I thought before, right? But Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Now I've got pets everywhere. Here, ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. This dog's ridiculous, but he's always super cold and he wants to cuddle. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hello, Mr. Millard. I assume Millard because it's French looking. But anyway, okay. Let's do this video. So, back to the grind. Again, I'm starting with Giannis, LeBron, and Vooch because I play DraftKings. My reasoning for that is this. One, with Vooch, as I explained before in my video a couple of days ago, Vooch lines up pretty much perfectly for the perfect Milwaukee Buck killer. He is a versatile center who has 3-point range. And if you look at everything the Bucks are weak at, which is two things, those are the two things. It just so happens that they are worst in the NBA against centers. And you could argue worst against 3-point shooting. It really depends on how you define that metric, but regardless of that semantically, they are one of the worst at guarding 3-pointers. Or if you want to word it another and more accurate way, they allow the most 3-pointers. So the best way to attack the Bucks, and this is going to be, for the rest of the playoffs, assuming they make it out of this round, which, let's face it, they will. If you have like a Jokic going against them eventually, then watch out. But that's really like the type of player that I want to play against them the most. So Vooch, I wouldn't be shocked if he dropped 60 again if this game stays close. And again, like I said last time, I'm not worried about a blowout. If the third string Nets could keep it close just by shooting 3 after 3 after 3, then this is an Orlando team that can do that as well without any problem. I went over the numbers with you last time as well. Vooch shoots them, Augustin shoots them, Fultz shoots them, and then, that's ignoring Fournier and Ross, who shoot them the first and second most on the team. Fournier actually shoots it the second most on the team, but he makes more threes than anyone else on the team, regardless of how cold he was the other day. So I love the Orlando guys, the 3-point shooters, but Vooch is my favorite. Giannis, they're down 1-0. Giannis already showed you in that game that he could take it over easily at any point and put up, 25 DKP in like a 6-minute stretch. And that's not an exaggeration if you watched, like the last 2/3 maybe, of that second quarter where Giannis just kind of went, oh, we're losing now? Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to do everything. And then he pretty much kept trying to do that the rest of the game, but it just didn't work out for them. They were not shooting well from the outside. They were just not doing enough to stop Orlando's outside shooting, and Vooch is going to give them a lot of trouble. So I expect Giannis to be in overdrive the entire game today. This is one of those days when I do expect him to drop 70 or 80 DraftKings points. And the same goes for LeBron for the same reasons. That was, the Lakers scored less than 100 points and LeBron still put up 70 DKP in that loss. That's insane numbers. His usage is off the charts. There is no room for other people. LeBron is going to eat it all. And I said last time, who do they have that is going to stop him? They do not have anybody playing at their best who can stop him. And the same goes for Orlando and Giannis. Who do they have that can stop him? Nobody. It's just not going to happen. Harden is unstoppable, but you can slow him down if you have enough really good defenders. And Chris Paul and SGA are really good defenders, which is why I was lighter on Harden last time, and I'll be lighter on Harden this time. Lillard is still 11,000. I told you last time I expect like 50 to 55 out of him against this Lakers team. I think that's about what he gave you. He gave you 51.25. I expect the same out of him. I'm not paying 11 for that. If he was 9,000, which is where he was during the regular season, I'd pay for him. I know he went to beast mode during the restart, but that was against, like the Suns. That wasn't against the Lakers playing with all of their defensive guys back. So yeah, Lillard at 11 is just too much. Davis, I don't mind because I do like bigs against Portland as a general rule. But again, we saw last game where he got, I think it was 36 again. I have to, my memory because of this. Oh, he got 52 last game? Oh man, I must have looked like at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and it was, and I just don't remember him getting the extra points. 52 is not bad. I wouldn't mind that for the 10-5. But again, LeBron, I think, is a much better play if you're going to spend that much. I would rather spend the extra 400 on LeBron. But that is actually, I think, a pretty decent pivot if the ownership looks like people are only going to LeBron, but they're not. LeBron's ownership is actually surprisingly low. Giannis's isn't there. Nobody's taking over. There's no like overwhelming chalk. There's no star that like everyone's on. Vooch is like the 20th most owned player today. Even the people that look good are going to have lower ownership, I think, than you would expect because there are so many high-priced people. And people are going to take Harden no matter what. So I think that, I think that those are the three guys I'm going to start with. The second thing I want to address is the injuries in the first game. You know what? Forget that. I'll do the injuries in the first game when the news comes out, right? Oh, okay. There we go. Oladipo is available to play. So I assume that means he is playing. So I don't have to change my analysis there. It's going to be a lot harder for Jimmy Butler because of his defense. Hey, isn't it enough I'm putting you on my good leg? What, you got to complain the whole time too? Give me a break, dog. All right. So anyway, yeah, let me do some questions now, get caught up on the questions, and then I'll go through some more specific analysis. I want to talk about the value guys today because if I'm suggesting three expensive plays, there's some value dudes that are some of which are punts. Don't get me wrong. It's some there's going to be some risk here, with some prices going up a little bit, but there's still some guys I like cheap. So I'll get over that after I answer some questions. All right. So Daniel asked who I'm starting with. I already talked about that. I will not let him play with my socks. He's not one of those dogs. He just wants to cuddle because he is so thin. We took wolves and made them ridiculous jokes. And one of those ridiculous jokes is the Italian Greyhound, who is so thin and tiny, you can actually see like all of his bones. If I put the light up, you could see through his skin in a lot of places because he's so thin. It's ridiculous. So basically, all he wants to do is lay in warm spots and against you and under and in blankets. So he's actually a really nice dog to have if you like cuddling and need some love. And he doesn't destroy anything. He just pees sometimes a little bit in various places because he's a little old. When we adopted him, we got an old guy because they deserve love too. And my wife, like I've said, is a vet. So she does volunteer work 2 or 3 days a week at a couple of different places, helping them out. So my wife does a lot of volunteer work. She spends hours doing it. So every once in a while there's something that comes in that she falls in love with. And Giuseppe, the Italian Greyhound here, is one of those little guys, and he loves her just as much. So it's beautiful to see. Really warms my heart. All right. Trying to get LeBron, Giannis, Vooch, but it's hard. Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not nearly as easy as last time, but I think we can make it work, and I'm going to go over some guys. Zachary, I appreciate it, man. It's my pleasure. It really is. I love doing this. Thoughts on Harrow, Duncan Robinson, Trent Jr. on FanDuel. I don't like Harrow for that price because he is priced up significantly for some good games during the restart when they were resting people. Duncan Robinson and Trent Jr., though, are underpriced because of bad luck and bad games. But they're not priced for what I would consider their normal scoring or their ceiling, for that matter. So I do like them a lot, and I'll address them on DraftKings as well. Fournier price drop does sound very tempting as well. Yes, 100%. Brooke Lopez, you know what? I don't think so. I watched that game and they just didn't use him, and he just wasn't fighting for the rebounds because a lot of times he was playing on the outside. It doesn't line up well. And I think I said last time, I won pretty decently a couple of days ago with that advice that I was giving you guys. And in that lineup, I played Brooke Lopez. So if I hadn't done that, I mean, geez, what could have been, right? But, I learned my lesson. I watched that game, and I don't think that was a fluke. I don't think, I wouldn't be shocked if he got you 25 to 30 today. If you told me tomorrow, hey, did you see Brooke Lopez got you 25, 30 DKP? I'd say, yeah, all right. I guess so. But I wouldn't bet money on it. I wouldn't spend money to say that I think that's going to happen, if that makes any sense. Okay. Atomic said, love these, Rube. Hey, it's like I said, it's my pleasure, Atomic. Thank you for being such a positive member of the community for so long, including on the Discord, which I really, really do appreciate. You've been there for a long time helping people out and just being an awesome person. So I really appreciate that. Fournier was like doing absolutely nothing. Then he hit a bunch of threes, got like 9 points real quick, real late in the game. Otherwise, he would have had an even worse game. So yeah, I think that game is going to price him down. But the same everything holds true. And I think that what will wind up happening, and again, this is my prognostication, but from what I would expect, right? The defense is going to focus on the better players, which means that when Aaron Gordon's off the court, not regarding Vooch because he's a center and a lot more difficult and different to guard, I would say. But if you're looking at everybody else, if Aaron Gordon's on the court, he's going to draw defenders because he is a big and powerful dude that demands coverage. If you leave him empty, he's going to just slam it, or he's going to shoot a three. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. So Gordon doesn't do that well with a lot of coverage, which is why he has such spotty games, but he demands that coverage. And that coverage means less coverage on Fournier and on like Ennis and Fultz and Augustin. So I think that Aaron Gordon is going to suck up some usage. Yes, he's going to suck up some rebounds. Yes. Everyone's, effective ceiling, not true ceiling, but effective ceiling, I would say goes down with Gordon in the lineup. But I would say that their chance to get a better score goes up, because I think his presence alone is going to do a lot more. Look at, and I think that if you look at that game, you can just look at the box score. Look at Gary Clark, right? Gary Clark is not a dude that does stuff. He's not a dude that, even at the lowest price, I was like, I really like him. I know he's going to get minutes. Even knowing he was going to get minutes, I was not a huge fan because, he is a warm body that was there because Aaron Gordon couldn't play. And he's not a terrible player, don't get me wrong, right? But he's not incredible, right? He's not someone who demands coverage. So he hit a lot of threes. And the reason he hit a lot of threes is because they left him open. They said, hey, that guy isn't very good compared to everybody else. So let's just leave him open and cover the really good guys. That's not going to happen. There's not going to be the Gary Clark on the floor today where they're just going to be like, okay, that guy, yeah, if he wants to hit some threes, let him. If they're going to let him beat us, then let him beat us. And he did. All credit to Gary Clark. He had a great game. He sunk a bunch of threes. I don't know if he could do it again, even if Gordon was out. But that was their strategy, and it didn't work out. Today, if Gordon is back, and I do suspect he will be back, there's not going to be that dude that's left, empty so that they can put extra coverage on the Fourniers. So I think that Fournier winds up doing better because he's in a better spot. Now, can I make his shots fall for him? No. He can go 0 for 12. I can't make him get the baskets. But I can tell you that, I expect, I can tell you what I expect the trickle down or the holistic effect of certain things to be, because I try to think about things, from the way the entire game will play instead of like, oh, what does this mean to this one guy? Right? Like, it's not just like, oh, Gordon's back, that means this guy's not going to be shooting as much. That's not necessarily what it always just means. It means a lot more in terms of how everybody plays the game and how they rotate and how they cover defensively and who gets the ball and the plays they play and everything like that, right? Everything like that. So I think that Gordon being back, especially if he's not at 100%, he's still going to draw that coverage, and it's going to leave the people like Fournier and Ennis, all those guys, everybody else open more, or with less coverage more, less double teaming more. So I apologize if that was a longer explanation, but I think that's really important, a really important point that, and I've been in so much pain, I can't even see like letters really well. It's very hard for me to read and do stuff. Everything's pretty blurry. I almost threw up before from the pain. So again, not a great time, but I'm doing my best. But my point is, I haven't read what anyone else has said. I haven't watched any videos. I do not know what the consensus is today. I don't know if people are telling you to get on or off these guys. I couldn't tell you that. I can just tell you what my analysis is. And if everyone else agrees, great. If everyone else disagrees, then I think they're wrong. And I hope I can explain to you well enough why. You might disagree with me as well. Totally fine. But that's what I think, how I think things are going to play out. So as long as I'm clear, I'm getting that across to you. All right, next, better cheap point guard today. I'm going to go over cheap guys in a little bit. 45, 15, 10 for Giannis, Ryan says, book it. I wouldn't be shocked at all. That's what I'm saying. They're down, right? And if you saw what he did in that second quarter, man, he did everything. He did everything. They weren't going to guard him unless they triple teamed him. And when they started triple teaming him, he just got assists, and that was fine. And then when those people missed, he was there getting rebounds because, it was when Vooch was off the floor, they brought him back. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch him just trash them for a few minutes there. SGA was trash again. I want to talk about that as a topic. And I think it ties into something I said yesterday. And I'm glad you brought that up, Sho. I said yesterday, I think the best thing that you can do on days like today are use recency bias against the field. So I would be higher, like I said yesterday, on people like Kemba, who had really poor games the first time out, but who still lined up in like really, really good spots, right? And I think that I'm while I play one lineup. Let's be frank. I play one lineup most of the time. I'm going to play one lineup today. That one lineup is going to be Giannis, Vooch, and LeBron. So I'm not playing these guys, but if I played a second lineup, my second lineup would be SGA and Schroeder anchored, because I firmly believe in what I said, because the numbers and everything I've seen this entire season show me that what I said is true, right? The defense on Houston against guards and against these wing guys is terrible. Now, Gallo wound up getting a bunch of shots. Adams wound up getting a bunch of shots. SGA didn't do a lot. Schroeder didn't do that much, and neither of them did a lot with the little they tried to do. But that being said, I really think that is the biggest weakness in Houston's defense. So if I'm going anywhere in that game, first up, Chris Paul is going to be, you know what? Let me back that up, because I did say something and I'm incorrect, and I want to backtrack. If I'm playing a second lineup, I'm starting it with Chris Paul and then either SGA or Schroeder. I'm not going to play all three, but Chris Paul has proven that he's going into playoff mode. He's doing the usage, he's getting the assists, he's doing everything he needs to do. So Chris Paul and either SGA or Schroeder, but that's like a game theory play. That's not even one of those things where I think you can trust them, because obviously they have not been playing well recently. They're eating into each other in a negative way. They're just not, it doesn't look like they're comfortable playing with each other at this point. And I definitely understand that, right? But, if you look at DRPM, if you look at the defensive numbers for individuals, or, just what Houston does, Eric Gordon is terrible. Austin Rivers is terrible. Dan Wellhouse is not very good. These guys that are going to be getting most of the guard and wing minutes are just bad defenders. So again, I can't say that I will take them with a tremendous amount of trust, but I can say that I like them a lot more than I should because of that one fact. And if the field is off them today because of that, then we get to use recency bias against the field and hope that these guys are underpriced for the games that they should put up, which they, again, neither did last time and haven't in a while, which is why their prices are down so much. But Chris Paul, I think, is a can't miss play there. So again, sorry. Value I'll go over in a minute. Green LeBron or AD Fournier, and then Holiday Vooch or Dragic Adams. Give me Green and LeBron, because I think LeBron's going to outscore AD by more than Fournier outscores Green. And then, I'm not a big Aaron Holiday fan, so get someone else in there with Vooch. But I think that Adams' showing last game was more of a fluke. I don't trust him to do the same. Regardless of the height disparity, Houston has been really fantastic against centers since they went small with Tucker playing center. I don't understand it. It goes against everything I thought, but they've been really, really good. So I think that, I'm not a big fan. Thoughts on Steven Adams? Hey, I just addressed that. Still not a fan. I don't think anything's changed. If he comes out in game 2 and he does the exact same thing and they just can't stop him, I will change my mind. I'm not a monolith. But I think a one game sample where I don't think the game played out in the normal way, given how, again, poorly the guards played minus Chris Paul. Sorry, this mustache keeps getting in my nose when I talk. I have to trim it. Thoughts on Samson? Thoughts on Taylor Gooch? Taylor Gooch, I played him, John Z. You know that. How you doing, John? Oh, John is on the Discord, which has been posted on Reddit now, if you guys haven't seen it. John Z is like the one of the premier members, not in a paying way, just in terms of the quality of the stuff. John is in the golf Discord more than anything, and he gives you picks and tells you what things to look for every week, like what stats are the most important, who he likes in each tier. He answers questions. Like, I love golf, and this dude makes me look like I don't know anything, like full Dunning-Kruger when he starts talking about stuff. So, John, how you doing? Thank you. Love Taylor Gooch. Played him today. I don't know what he's doing right now, but hopefully, he had a little bit of a Harris English -4 in 4 holes stint there. Anyway, Duncan is even cheaper on DK. Yeah, Duncan is one of my favorite plays today. Let's see. Good morning to you as well, Chris. I'm sorry. I think it's proper for me to go over all these. Would I do Kuzma or Jeff Green on FanDuel? I'd go with Jeff Green. He sees a huge a boost in points per minute when Westbrook is off the floor, and I'll take that $900 savings anytime. I think Kuzma might outscore him by a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and I don't think it's like a certainty that he's going to outscore him. So, yeah, give me that $900 savings. Bledsoe again, like Bledsoe again. That's the two guys that I want to play from the starters. Like I said, I don't think Middleton's going to get the looks because of Giannis, so I'm not on Middleton at all. But Bledsoe's too cheap. He's still going to get a lot of point guard work. He's still going to do a lot of ball handling. He's still going to put up a lot of shots. So Bledsoe I like a lot, still way too cheap. If he's not 7,000, you can play him at your discretion, really. And then, again, George Hill, but I'll go over the cheap guys after I get through all these questions. JaVale, I don't like JaVale today. Let me say why really quickly. It's because I think the ownership is going to be too high on him. I think that he did too well in game one, given everything, right? If you look at game one, JaVale McGee wound up getting, and again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm going to be pretty close on this. He got like 4 points and 5 rebounds in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the first quarter. And then he finished with 6 points and 8 rebounds. So for the rest of the game, he got another 2 points and 3 rebounds, which is kind of the amount of production I would expect out of him if he's sharing the floor with Anthony Davis. So I think people are going to look at his price, look at what he did last game, because he's a Laker, are going to be well over on him. And I don't think that's necessarily the smart play. Do I think it's a certainty he fails? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's Portland. If Nurkic is looking at Davis, which is certainly what I would do, then McGee is going to have a much easier time against Gabriel, who's not going to be able to defend him as well. But still, I think his ownership is going to be too high for the amount of production per minute that we should see out of him. So, all right, let's keep going here. More about value guys. I'll get to there, Evan. Don't worry. I think I'm kind of mentioning them while I do this. Zachary, thank you. I will. Is Depot worth it? No. I think he's more like a cash type guy. I don't think he can have those ceiling games, but I think it's much more likely that Brogdon or Warren is going to do it, and it's going to kind of be a function of them not being able to do it and Oladipo being forced to step up. If you looked at the first game or watched the first game as a normal human would word it, Oladipo was on Jimmy Butler defensively like crazy, trying to make his life hell. And he succeeded a lot of the time. Oladipo is a huge pain in the ass defensively. But I think that laser-like focus is going to hurt him on the offensive side of the ball because he can't really do as much if he needs to pay constant attention to Butler and what Butler's doing and everything else. So is Oladipo going to do well? Yes. For the price, absolutely. But I don't think he's going to have that upside because I think that it's going to be more in the hands, especially with Nunn not playing and Dragic playing all those minutes. It's going to be more in the hands of Brogdon and Warren today. So let's keep going. Fultz or DJ Augustin? I would go with Fultz, but I don't mind DJ Augustin. I think Augustin got some extra minutes because of Gordon not playing. And while I don't think like the usage is going to be bad, I think he's still going to have some threes to put up. I think that Augustin might get hurt the most from Gordon coming back, just because I think his minutes are going to be reduced and they're not going to play, the two guys together as much as they did, Fultz and Augustin. So I think I'm going to go with Fultz, assuming Fultz is starting. I haven't seen anything to indicate he's not. But Augustin played really, really well. So I would take note. If one of them's starting, if Augustin's starting, I might pivot to him. But whoever's starting, I expect to get more minutes, and I would go with them. My least favorite of the main three, as in if I were going to drop Giannis, LeBron, or Vooch, who would I drop? I don't want to drop any of them. I would say Giannis, but no. Damn it. I would say Vooch. As much as I like him and as cheap as he is, just Giannis and LeBron are just going to go nuts today. I really think they're going to go nuts today. I love Vooch. Again, don't get me wrong. But, man, I was going to say Giannis because the price, and you could get a lot from 11 plus thousand. Hello again. You can't be on a bad leg, dog. Okay, you want to go back up? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good jump. Good jump. There you go. Oh, that hurts. Why do you make me hurt so much, little Italian dog? Oh, you want a spicy meatball. All right. Aaron Holiday. Do not like him. Malcolm Brogdon or Butler on FanDuel. I go with Brogdon there. I am not concerned with Giannis playing less than 35 minutes, Benjamin. Even if he does, I think he'll be fine. Damn this robe and his paws. I think that if this game is close and he needs to play 37 or 38, he's going to do it. This is what they save him for, and they're down. This is not the Bucks up 2-0. This is the Bucks down. So if he needs to play the minutes, he's going to play the minutes, and I think he might need to. So yeah, I'm not concerned at all about Giannis's minutes today. What PFs on FanDuel? I will have to look that up for you. Give me a second here. While I do that, I will look at another question. Who is my favorite 3K player? Ooh, man. I have to look that up too. I don't know if I necessarily have a 3K player that I really, really like. Okay, let's see here. I'm on the wrong one. So bear with me here. Did I get to? Oh, I did get to 100. Oh, wow, over 100. Well, I love you all. Thank you so much. That is the coolest thing. Fournier is definitely a play. Ennis is definitely a value play. Hill is definitely a value play. I like TJ McConnell a lot more than other people because I think he gets the minutes and he does a lot with them. I think McLemore is a great value play at 3,700 because, again, if they're shutting down Harden, he's going to need to pass it outside. And I think that's just what he's there for. He's not going to get as much run with, House and Gordon and everybody. But I really don't mind him at all, especially for that price. Let's see. Power forwards, I would play Adebayo as a power forward. I have no problem doing that. And then let's see. Yeah, I don't mind Jeff Green at 5,100 either. I don't think it's a great play. But if you don't want to spend up, if you don't want to spend up on a brow and I don't really want to with the other people. I wouldn't mind seeing. Well, I guess you probably can't get Bam in either, right? So see if you can get Green in there, and then even if you want to punt it with a Wenyan Gabriel, hope he gets a couple more blocks, gets a few more minutes. Marvin Williams, hope he gets some minutes. I wouldn't like that though, very much at all. Yeah, power forward is really desolate. Excuse me. On FanDuel today, you were not kidding. I'm not a big fan of Covington generally. So, yeah, if you can't get up to Adebayo, and I understand why you can't, Jeff Green and then a punt of like a Wenyan Gabriel will be fine for me. Okay. Oh, if I was dropping Harden, AD, or LeBron, who would I drop? Harden, because of the price. That's easy. Okay. Thoughts on Caruso as a value PG? He's not. Caruso doesn't do anything like 95% of the time if he's sharing a court with LeBron, and he's going to do that most of the time because LeBron's going to play like 40 minutes. So no, I don't. I think Caruso is going to be over-owned again because he's a Laker for the production he's going to give you. It's LeBron's team in the playoffs. That's the only person you really need to worry about getting in until he's over 12,000, and that's it. David, I kind of talked about that, unless you mean on DraftKings, at which point I would throw in like Ennis for 4,000, who I really do like a lot. Who else? I don't think Olynyk is a great play, but I don't think people are going to be on him enough. But yeah, I know power forward is not looking that great. Carmelo is too cheap too. That's true. Carmelo is too cheap for the way he gets run. Danwell House, I would say, is a little bit too cheap. Is Jay Crowder playing? I don't know if I want him, but if he's not playing, that opens up some of those, like Derek Jones Jr. guys. But all right. Thoughts on Wes Matthews? I never play Wes Matthews. He just doesn't do enough. Even if he gets like hot, he shoots like a couple times. I'm not going to do that. Let's see. It leaves you with okay. Yeah, game start at 1 p.m., so we got a half hour left, and I got to get this done. All right. I'm going to skip some more pleasantries this day. I do like Indiana in terms of Sampson. I really don't like the Holiday brothers. I don't like playing them. They don't do enough. Melo or Fournier? I would say Fournier because I think Melo will have higher ownership. And I'm going to trust Fournier to do more today. But I think that's a GPP play. If you're playing cash, go with Melo. What center would I play instead of Vooch to save money? Ooh, boy. Well, you'd save a little bit of money by going down to Bam. I wouldn't mind playing Bam against Miles Turner. I guess Jeff Green is a center on DraftKings. I really, like I said, I don't hate him today. I don't hate him anytime Westbrook is out. I really don't like anyone near as much. I mean, if you go to Nurk, I wouldn't mind playing Nurk, but he's more expensive, right? So there's just not a lot of people that I really like at center or just center today. Terrence Ross, I do like a lot. Yes. Rondo is only 3K. He might play today. Do not trust him at all. If he plays today, I don't expect him to do a lot. And if he does anything, I expect it to be rusty. Oh, is that true, Chase? See, that I didn't realize. I am surprised at that because TJ McConnell is normally someone that they play every game no matter what, even 14-something minutes. So if he's not in the rotation, then I do not like him as much. And I would put a little bit of extra faith in Holiday. But if that is incorrect, which I have, let me check. Let me see if there's any word on that because I just haven't seen it. Yeah, I don't see anything. I'll have to look at it later. I don't know anything about that, but that might be true. I might be some dude on YouTube saying it, Chase. No offense. But as far as I know, I've always liked TJ McConnell. If he doesn't play today, I guess Sumner did get some minutes too, but I would be more thinking that Sumner got extra minutes. But yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see on that one. We'll have to see on that one. Okay. One lineup: Paul, Robinson, LeBron, Giannis, Green, Fultz, Iggy, Wes Matthews. Not a big fan of Iggy or Wes Matthews. Iggy's not terrible, though. LeBron, Robinson, Ennis, Giannis, Vuk, Wes Matthews, Iggy, George Hill. Again, not a fan of Iggy or Wes Matthews, but the guys you have in there are generally really nice. I like those guys. Gary Trent Jr., I talked about him before. I don't mind him at all. I think he's a good play. I don't think he's a great play, but I talked about it a couple days ago. They should focus on him less, and I think he's going to get be a beneficiary of Collins. So I don't mind Trent Jr. at all. Let's see. Bad idea to have Gordon and Vooch in the same lineup. Yes. Like Lillard and CJ, I don't play those guys together. Crowder's still expected to play. Well, last I saw he was questionable, so I haven't seen anything about that. If he's still expected to go, that's great. Great, not as great. Let's see. Jay Crowder, good to go. I just saw the beat writer for the Heat tweeted. Starters: Dragic, Robinson, Butler, Crowder, Adebayo. Yeah, so Crowder, not a terrible play at 4,000. Don't love him, but not a terrible play. Any interest in Whiteside today? No. Not really. I don't hate him. Again, his PPM production is fine, but it's not, he's one of those. If he was in the 3,000s range, I would take a chance. But there's other guys in the 4,000s range I would rather get onto than him. LeBron, Giannis, Vooch, and then a bunch of cheap 3-4 guys. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. Any stacks for today? I think Orlando again. The guys are just too cheap. They're just way too cheap. I have no problem doing that whatsoever. McConnell played 13 minutes last game. That's 34 at 3,400, and he has a decent PPM, and he could see a couple extra minutes. I don't think it's a great play, like I said, but it's a punt that I like. I'm not gonna, lock him into all my lineups, but I like him. I don't love him. Chris Middleton, I never like if Giannis is in playoff mode. Let's see. News about Crowder from folks. Thank you, everybody, for updating. Crowder or Ennis? Easily. Let's see. I do like George Hill and not Solomon Hill. Yes, Benjamin. That's correct. Gary Clark, he's cheap. I don't think it's crazy to take a chance because everyone's going to be off him and he'll get the second unit minutes. But man, it was hard to like him when he was getting starters minutes. Geez, I got to do the value guys really quick. Okay, so that's it for question time. Let's talk about some value guys that I like more than others. I'm gonna say value is 4,500 and under. Number one would be Fultz. Absolutely love Fultz. I really love Duncan Robinson today. I think he got unlucky, but he is going to be called on to do more. I wish Hill wasn't up to 4,000, but Hill at 4,000, I wasn't on him in game one. I was wrong. Hill is going to be called on to run that second unit, and not just that, but he's getting time and he's making plays with the first unit too. He's getting minutes regardless. I thought that he would be rested a little bit more. They would get more looks at like a DiVincenzo, more looks at like a Pat Kahn, but it looks like they really like Hill. So for the 4,000, I'm a big fan. I really am. Let's see. Ennis, I said, I don't hate Aaron Holiday at 4,000. I really don't. I don't hate PJ Tucker at 4,400. I don't hate JaVale McGee. I just think he'll be overowned. The same could be said for like a Markieff Morris, who I don't really trust that much. But if he gets a handful of minutes at 3,200, it's not really that hard payoff. McLemore, I really like. I shouldn't have gotten to him so late, but McLemore, I really do like a lot. Again, I'm not sure he's going to get, a whole lot of minutes, with Gordon getting a bunch of minutes and House getting a bunch of minutes, Rivers getting some minutes, but he's going to play and he's going to get some outside shots, and he's only 3,700. So a few of those fall, he gets a little hot, and we're doing okay. Let's see. That's that. There's really not too many other people that I like that are really super cheap. If we're talking about other people, then we're getting into like punt territory. So yeah, I don't mind TJ McConnell. That's more of a punt. I don't mind. Let's see, like Corver, if he's still 3,000, I think he is. I don't mind Dougie McDermott. At, I think, what is he, 3,200 or something? 3,200 still. Not great. Don't mind him. Don't mind taking a chance on Gary Clark, especially if Gordon, gets re-injured or he doesn't play a full complement of minutes. He's rusty or whatever the case may be. I don't think it's a great play, but, not terrible. There are a handful of those type of guys, the Wes Matthews type, where like, man, maybe they can get 20 if we're lucky, but I'm not going to really bet on it more times than not. So hopefully you'll be able to get your lineups built with those guys and you won't have to sacrifice too much. Oh, Danny Green. I did not mention Danny Green. I did miss Danny Green. I like Danny Green. Don't love Danny Green, but that 15 last game could have been 20. So if he can get us 20 at 3,900, don't love it. Really wish he was still 3,500 or cheaper, but I don't hate him today either. I think he's a decent enough play. And if you want to go a little more expensive, I do really like Gordon. How much is Augustin? I didn't see Augustin. Hold on one second here. I do like Augustin too, but I did not see him. I should have gotten his price. 43. Yeah, I like Augustin too. I don't know how I missed him. Let's try this again. I'm going to go through all one more time. Augustin. I like Augustin. Okay. I said Olenek. I mentioned Ennis. I mentioned George Hill as one of the best plays. KCP, no thank you. Diallo, meh, not really. Duncan Robinson, I really like a lot. The Holiday Brothers, meh. Danny Green, I like. Austin Rivers is okay. Don't love him. Caruso, meh. DiVincenzo, they're focusing on Hill. McLemore, I like. Sumner, no thanks. Howard, meh. Pat Kahn, again, not getting the minutes. Marvin Williams, only in case of emergencies, so he's not going to get the time. Noel, interesting play. If Noel gets the minutes, if Adams gets into foul trouble, if Harden goes after Adams, Noel gets some minutes, 3,400, not terrible. Iguodala, not terrible, not great. McConnell, a punt play, but don't hate him. And then we're getting into even cheaper territory. Ferguson, is Ferguson the one getting? Yeah, I always get Ferguson and Robinson confused. Gabriel, don't love him, but you got like 15 last game, 3,300, not terrible, not great. There's a whole slew of moderate but not great guys down there. There are a few guys I like a lot, and hopefully I made that clear enough. Okay. Deion Waiters, they don't need him because LeBron. If you have to play Wes Matthews, yeesh, you play him, but I don't love him. If I had to choose ABC or LBJ, I would take LeBron because Portland is worse and faster, and there are more people that Giannis has to share usage with than LeBron. I think LeBron is much more consolidated. Just look at the fact of how few points the Lakers scored, and how much of that was on LeBron. So, okay. I think that's going to be it. I wouldn't play Birch if Gordon's playing, but the pain just started. Okay. Sorry, the medicine is wearing off. It's okay, everybody. I hope I was a help today. I'm sorry I couldn't do more. I'm sorry I couldn't do the written articles. I can't believe we got over 100. That is just incredible. I love all of you. Thank you all. I hope I was a help today. I'm sorry if I was a little more scattered than usual. It's like I said, it's been a very hard day. I'm trying my best, which is all I could ever do. And I hope you don't expect anything more, because that's all I can ever give you every day. I love you all. Thank you for the love and support. Best of luck. Again, one of y'all win that big money today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I can write something tomorrow. If not, I'll do one more video and get back to writing as soon as I can. But, ideally I'll be writing soon. So I love you guys. Best of luck, and let's win some money.